She's like, let me go get my cowboy hat. Audio track, Garth Brooks play, and she's got like a built-in stereo system, and the thunder rolls.
And then after this, it's Brooks and Dunn, Neon Moon. Jeez Louise.
It's like she forgets to put toilet paper on her hand, so she wipes her ass your ass with her bare hand, and then she shows it to you. You're like, go fucking wash your hands off.
Yeah, after she gave you Blumpkin.
Like for some reason her programming couldn't for some reason her programming couldn't compute that the toilet paper was out, so she used her bare hand instead of getting in the cupboard and grabbing another roll. She doesn't see the roll there, so she just wipes her ass with her bare hand.
You know what's crazy is eventually they're gonna have that kind of they're gonna have like robots like that around. If you look 100 years from now, that's I don't know how else. You know what I mean?
Well, they've already got self-driving cars, so that technology is like it's here.
I think it would be horrible for, even though I thought I'm like, well, how hot is she? Like it depends on. I'm okay with it if she's real good looking, but deep down it's like that's not a good thing, man. It's just not. This is not good for society. That's
Yeah,
not a good thing
we're basically on that cusp of when they're coming out with the robot. Like robots were invented a long time ago. I mean, they had some crazy shit in the 80s, as a matter of fact. But now they're at that brink where they're actually putting it into our like cars and making human robots like have AI and stuff. So we're right there on the cusp, basically.
Well, the flesh part of it is going to be the crazy thing. Like,
Well, they got that. They got that.
well,
They have the cyber skin down pretty much.
a certain point though, but
I mean, it's like a plasticky rubber latex that actually feels real and looks real. They got that. That's been done.
yeah, it's
So what's great
I don't
about
know. I mean, well,
that is now girls can't act stuck up and like they're the only hot things walking around. It's like, well, if you're not gonna go out with me, I'll just have sex with my cyberskin doll. Bye, thank you.
well then all of the people eventually, and if they did the same thing, like, well, fuck you then, because you're gonna fuck a doll or whatever robot. Uh,
Yeah, but like
robot.
some girls can't get a complex because they won't be like the guys won't be desperate for a hot girl anymore because like, oh, if you're not gonna go out with me, fine. It's like
But here, yeah, good point. I don't think I think in the next time, like if that happens, like let's say down the line, I think the reproduction rate is going to go down, but it won't be like to the point where like we're going, oh shit, we're going to hell, or we're it'll just slowly decline if if that's how it is, like guys are like I'm sick of girls acting retarded or and girls are like, well fuck you, you're being a dick, and I'm just gonna go get a donor. Um, I think eventually the reproduction, like people that are reproducing, it's gonna go down a little bit, but not nothing crazy. Well, I mean everything will be fine, but
no, because just like now where you have racism, you're gonna have like people are gonna be like segregated against robots. Like, oh, you're with a robot, you're a piece of shit for being with a robot. They're gonna segregate that just like they segregate race.
yeah,
That'll be like the new segregation. By that time, people might not care about race. They may or may not. I don't know. Um, but then they're like, "Oh, you're with a robot. You're a robot lover." They'll start calling you names and stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
but it's better to have people thinking like that opposed to like, people are worried about race now. It's like, I'm in an interracial relationship, and we go out and people do have a problem with it sometimes. They look at us like we're like weird, like, oh, look at them, they're an interracial couple. That's something wrong with that, or like they'll give us weird looks. And some people give me some people give me props. It just depends.
Yeah. What's the worst? What's like the worst thing anybody's ever said to you, like when you're with your girl?
Well, no one's ever said anything to us because
Straight up, no.
I don't think people have said anything to us because she's 6 foot tall, I'm 6'3", and I probably look like I'll beat the shit out of them if they say something to me. So, if I was a different guy, like if I was a smaller guy, they might be more brave to come up to me. But I think it's because my size.
Yeah.
They're not risking it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I was like some skinny 5'6" guy, I probably get like more problems. Like people, like guys be a little bit more brave and come up to and start talking shit to me. But since I'm not small, they don't risk it.
They're like, yeah, let me think twice about that.
Which is a shame because just because a guy's small, he shouldn't have to deal with that if he wants to be in an interracial relationship. Why would he? Why would he get bullied because he's smaller? Like that's
not how normal people think. Well, some people don't think like that. They go, well, yeah, you don't think like that until a little dude just goes ape shit on you. Like, dude, yeah, that dude could probably choke you out and take your life, or knock you out cold. But until then, those people, they don't know that shit. So.
Because I've actually had a guy. He was a smaller guy, and he was in a relationship, and he asked me to say, hey, do you have these problems when you're out? And he started talking about how guys were like harassing him, like, oh, what are you doing with her, and getting in his face. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen to me. And he's like, oh, that's probably because of your size. And I'm like, because I'm not small, so I didn't think about it. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's getting harassed because of his size. The guys have more courage to come up to him and talk shit to him.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. People are.
And my girlfriend looks like she can beat the shit out of somebody, so I know no one's saying anything to us because we look like a couple that shouldn't be fucked with. But I imagine there's couples out there that have to deal with that problem of being harassed because they don't look intimidating or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it happens all the time.
The biggest thing I run into is white girls will give me mean looks. Like that's who I have the most attention from. They're like, what the fuck is he doing with her?
Really?
Yeah. And old couples, like old people, they have a problem with it. But it's young women that are like, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing or they're like pissed off that, oh, well, look at what, why are you with her, basically.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
But you and I don't care about race whatsoever. We do not see color.
I grew up in LA, so LA, I was actually as a Caucasian, I was a minority.
A Caucasian?
They were all. I grew up in Torrance, and it's all like Asian, mostly Asian, first of all. And then my first friend was a black kid. His name was Tyrone. And I gotta tell you this story real quick. I used to we were hanging out, and I put my hand on his head, and I pushed down on it. This is first grade, and and then I pull my hand up. I'm like, it's got some wet shit on it. And I'm like, you got juice in your hair, dude. You got juice in your hair. I was like, what's that juice? And I forget what that shit's called. I think his mom put product in his hair because when you push down, it looks like when you pull up, it looks like grease or something.
Yeah,
so you got juice in your hair, dude.
Some type of oil, yeah.
Yeah, she put oil in his hair, and I thought it was a natural thing, but no, that's not that. No, they don't. Their hair's not like that. It's just she put some shit in his hair, and yeah.
Oh.
And my dad's like, yeah, he's like, when you first came to the house, his mom brought him over, and he goes, you brought over a black friend, and we went, oh.
And you're like, did you bring the
okay.
juice? Did you bring the juice with you?
The dudes. Yeah, he's like, oh, and he's like, I don't know at that age, first grade, you just see somebody as being a nice friend, and that's what it is. So when he brought over, my dad goes, oh, brought over Tyrone. He goes, oh, okay, hi, and he met his mom, but they go, yeah, no, we were fine with it, because that's what we're around. But he goes, yeah, your first friend, he goes, yeah, you brought over a black kid, and we went, oh, okay, well, my dad's cool, so he's like, oh, okay, hi, nice. He's like, yeah, I met her and shook her hand, talked to his mom,
and the first thing your dad asks the kid is, do you play basketball?
You know what the greatest thing is? The first sport I ever played was basketball, and all the kids on my team were Asian. And then I played against black kids on another team, but I got hooked on an all Asian team, and I was the tallest fucker. Now there's a white kid who was just as tall as me, and that was it, dude. Like I was like.
I know. I saw the old cassette video of you playing basketball. I did.
Fuck, dude.
I told you I never played basketball until I was like 14 or 15 years old. I didn't play basketball.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first time I played. I shot hoops every once in a while, like once a year or something, with friends. But until I met you, I really didn't play. I played like maybe a half a year before I met you, but it was all baseball before that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember baseball.
And friends and stuff would throw footballs around in the yard and stuff, but I only played baseball as an actual sport. I didn't play basketball until I really met you, and then of course, basketball became our main sport.
Yeah, it started. Well, we were 12, so yeah. And you were pretty tall, dude. You were like 5'11" in like the 7th grader, I would say, close to that, 5'10", 5'11" in 7th grade. You were fucking taller than a lot of people.
Yeah, because I was
grade, so.
Yeah, I was 5'11". I went into freshman year as 6'1", mm-hmm. And I stopped growing at 6'2". And when I was 22 years old, I stopped growing at 16. And when I was 22 years old, I grew another 1.5 inches to 6'3.5". Because I told you that story where I had like pain, I had these muscle spasms in my back when I was 22 years old, and I went to the doctor. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? I got muscle pain. I thought I injured my back.
Does it feel like do you ever have like rib pains? It's almost like a shooting pain, but it was in your back then.
Yeah, I had rib pain and I had back pain. So I thought I injured my back because I was in the military at the time. And the doctor's like,
you grew.
Yeah, the doctor's like, oh, I don't see anything wrong with your muscle. So he's like, here, let me measure you really quickly. And sure enough, I gained 1.5 inches when I was 22.
Yeah,
because you remember I stopped growing at 6'2", and then you saw me again when I came back at like 21, 22 years old to visit in Colorado, and you're like, did you get taller? I'm like, yeah, actually I did.
Yep. Yeah, I'll never forget those shooting pains, dude. Fucking ribs area. Fuck that. I used to have to lay down, like, oh shit. But yeah, the basketball, man. That's
Basketball was just funner. It was, you and I thought it was the funnest sport. So.
Yep.
Even though we both played baseball.
Yeah, obviously, my best sport is baseball and pitching. But I enjoyed basketball more than anything else. I could do it easy, 4 hours a day, no problem. Just fucking around.
Well, now you can only do it.
4 hours.
Now you can only do it for 20 minutes because you're out of shape.